all of them had a major, and you know what? All of them switched their major. What's up, y'all? Welcome back to my channel. If you don't know, I'm Zoe.h.o.p.e, and I hope that you enjoy the rest of this video. I know that you guys haven't seen me in a while. School kind of caught up to me, and I was trying to catch up to it. So that's why I was missing for all these months, but I'm back now, and hopefully next school year I'll be able to post more frequently than I did this past school year. But this summer I am going to try and get a whole bunch of these videos out just in case. And I know one of the videos that I had already planned on doing and I just ended up not being able to do was the one where people asked me a lot of questions about Bradley. Well, not a lot of questions, but you guys asked me a couple questions, so I wanted to finally get you guys your answers. I know it's like 5 months late, and I'm so sorry for that, but hopefully you can still use it. I mean, it is June, so you still have a couple months before, and if you did choose Bradley, hey, welcome. But yeah, let's go ahead and hop into the video. Yes, I did make little notes so that I get to everybody's question. Somebody asked me how I got accepted into Bradley. Since that would be a really drawn out explanation, I decided to put it in another video so that I can get to everything else in this one. So we're just gonna skip past that. I got a lot of questions about the finance and money and everything. I know a lot of people were apprehensive because they don't know if they'll be able to pay for Bradley. While I hope that you guys have figured it out, just in case, I'm gonna go over some brief things that I know people have used and some that I've used. So the Parent Plus loan is something that I think everyone knows about. I don't really know too much about it since I myself didn't do it, but the Parent Plus loan is something that you can do, but it is a loan, so you will have to pay it back. One big thing that I did when I was going to Bradley, because let's be honest, Bradley is really expensive, I appealed for aid, for more aid. So they had already given me a X amount of scholarships and grants from the school, and also I had some of my own, but I still didn't have enough money to go to Bradley, and I really wanted to go. And my mom basically told me, hey, if you can't figure out the finance and everything, you won't be going. And I really wanted to go, so I ended up talking to my financial advisor. I think it's a title for it, but everyone gets assigned a financial advisor whether you know it or not. I'm sure you'll be able to access them, and if you can't access them, just literally all you have to do is email or call the financial aid office, and then you'll figure it all out from there, and they'll explain it all to you. But that's what I mean by appeal for aid. Email them, text them, call them, whatever you have to do, and basically tell them, and like literally like word for word, you can just tell them, I really want to go to Bradley, but I do not have the expenses to go, so if you could give me more aid. And what happened with me is they did end up giving me another grant. They emailed me a scholarship that I could apply for, and they also ended up giving me a work study. I still had to pay a couple of dollars out of pocket, but that was a big help. That was a big difference. So appeal for more aid. You can do it. Do not be afraid to ask for more money. Also, another thing that I want to talk about is scholarships dedicated to your major. Now, I myself am an art major at Bradley, and I think the only scholarship they have for a particular art major is graphic design, but I could be wrong. I don't have an art major scholarship, but I know there's a lot of other scholarships that you can use. Yes, you can get scholarships based on your major, and you can also get scholarships based on just about anything. Just ask. That's all you really have to do. Just ask for more money. And if they're not giving you money, as a Bradley student, I know I'm not supposed to say this, but girl, go to a cheaper college. But if you really want to come to Bradley, tell them that. Tell them I really want to be here, especially with COVID and everything. And them wanting more people back on campus. I promise you they will try their hardest to get you to come. So tell them, hey, I need more money. Let them know. Also, like I said before, there's work studies. You can ask for a work study, and they're more likely to give you a work study than they are to give you an actual scholarship. So ask for a work study. Work study allows you to work on basically any on-campus job. You get first pick. They want you because technically they don't have to pay you. Whatever money that you have from your work study, however amount of money that you get for your work study, they wouldn't have to pay that money. It would just go straight to you because of your work study. So that's why people get first pick. That's why work study people get first pick. I personally am a work study person. And then another thing is, this is not my first one. This is not what I like to tell people, but a loan. If you really want to go to college and this is what you want to do and you're willing to get a loan, I guess get a loan. I would not personally recommend it for anybody. I took out a ton of loans for school and I do not like it at all. Hopefully I won't have to take out any loans except for like the standard like unsubsidized and subsidized loans, but any outside loans from like private loan companies, I hope I will not have to take out any this coming year, but I also don't know. But yes, so if you really want to come, I guess a loan is the last option, and I really would like to stress, a loan is the last option. Please try every other avenue before you take out a loan, okay? And if you want to know this information, the loan place that I used was SallieMae. I'm pretty sure everyone is pretty familiar with SallieMae, and if you're not, they have a website, and if I can find it, and I'll put the link in the description box below. Now that we've gotten over the heavy stuff, the money and finance, I did get a lot of questions about the dorm sizes and what I thought about the dorms. Now, I personally have only lived in 2 dorms, considering I've only had 2 years at Bradley. My first year, if you don't know, was in U-Hall or University Hall. That is a all freshman dorm, minus like the ARAs and the hall directors and RAs and all of them. Everyone else, the actual like people, not people, like we're not people, but anyway, everyone else is a freshman. So it is a freshman dorm. It is also, I think it's the oldest dorm on campus. My experience in U-Hall is, it was interesting. I don't want to get into it before I say the rest. So like I said, I lived in U-Hall my first year, and then my second year, this past year that I was just at Bradley, I lived in Heights Hall, which is an upperclassman dorm. So I went ahead and I ranked all of the dorms in my personal opinion. This is just my opinion. I also have only lived in 2 of said dorms that I'm ranking, so take that as you will. But I've also been in all of these buildings. I have not lived in all of them though, so I really want to stress that, okay? First on my ranking, best one to me, my personal opinion, I just want to keep stressing that, is Heights, and then it's Geyser, and then it's Harper Wyckoff. They're the same building. I'll explain that later. Williams, University, and then the singles. And I didn't really rank the singles as last, I just put them as last, so I want to stress that as well. Pros and cons of Heights, let's hurry up and get this over. Heights, obviously I feel like it is the cleanest, because people are just more respectful of space, since it is a lot of upperclassmen. Although since most of the people who ask questions on my video are freshmen, I don't know if you'll be able to get into Heights, but I'm pretty sure you might. Everyone is kind of respectful in Heights because everyone has already lived, at least almost everyone has already lived in one dorm or 2 or however many before, so they're more respectful of space and noise. Yes, con of Heights will be that it is a little more a lot less social than say a freshman dorm or even Geyser is. So like U-Hall is really social because it's an all freshman dorm, and then Geyser is really social because Geyser is like big, it's super big, and it also has a cafeteria. So yeah, so if you're looking for a social aspect and you don't mind it having some other kind of cons, then I wouldn't recommend Heights. But if you don't care about the social aspect, Heights is the way to go. Next on the list is Geyser. Like I already said, there is a cafeteria in Geyser. That is the main dining hall, I would say. Even though there are 2 dining halls on campus, majority of people eat in Geyser. And like I said, Geyser is really social. There's a lot of people that live in Geyser. I think it's the biggest dorm hall, but I could be wrong. The only negatives is that because it's so social, it can be a little loud. If you are a person who likes quiet when you're sleeping, or quiet when you're studying, or just quiet in general when you're living in your space, I would say maybe not Geyser. Next is Harper / Wyckoff. Harper and Wyckoff share one building, even though they have 2 different addresses, because the building takes up, you'll see when you get on campus, but it's both. Harper and Wyckoff are in the same building, it's just different halls. But the only, I guess the pro of that is that they have an ice machine. Now this may be an only pro for me, but they have an ice machine and I love ice. I like to give me a cup of ice, and I would have enjoyed to be able to live in that dorm so I can get me ice. Although I will say that a lot of people complain that they cannot control their heating or air, and also their ceilings are really low and you cannot unloft their beds. Like, their beds are lofted and they're going to stay that way. You can't unloft them, whereas I think with other ones you can unloft them. Another thing with Geyser, let me go back to Geyser. I think their ceilings are low as well. And height ceilings are super tall. I don't know if you guys saw my dorm tour, but height ceilings are very high. I think they're the highest ceilings on campus. Williams is the 4th on the list for me, and I think the pros of Williams is that if you have an emotional support animal, they'll most likely put you there. So I think that's where they put everybody who has an animal coming with them. So yeah, even if you don't, you get put in Williams, someone on your floor might actually have a pet there, and so if you get along with them, you might be able to experience an animal in your dorm, you know. Also, I think it's really quiet there. I don't think they have like big noise complaints in Williams. There's also a cafeteria, even though it's smaller than the Geyser one. There's a cafeteria in Williams. I think the only con of Williams is that it's not super social. I don't ever really hear about social events in Williams, so if that's going to be a problem for you, then maybe not Williams. But there is a parking deck right across from Williams, so if you are coming to campus with a car, then I would say choose Williams, so you wouldn't have to walk a long distance to get to your car. But yeah, and then last on the list is University Hall. Now, I myself lived in University Hall, and since I will be an ARA next year, that's a little tidbit that I have to tell you guys later. I will be in U-Hall, so if I see you guys, make sure you say hi. But yeah, U-Hall, the pros about U-Hall is that it is a freshman dorm, so if you're coming in as a freshman, you'll be surrounded by freshmen, so it'll be easier to make friends. Everyone else will be open to making friends, and U-Hall is really social. There's always a social event happening with U-Hall. The cons of U-Hall, now this list can go on and on, but I don't want to discourage anyone from picking U-Hall. The only thing is that the elevator is a little old, so it may stop sometimes. So you might have to take the stairs, but if this makes you feel any better, there's only 4 floors in U-Hall, so there's that. But another thing about the floors is that they alternate between evens and odds, so it goes like 1 even, 1 odd, 2 even, 2 odd. It's like 1A, 1B, 2B, 2B. So it's like, it's 4 floors, yes, but it's kind of like 8. But yeah, so yeah, hopefully if you do get a U-Haul, you'll be on the 1st floor, and if you do, I might be your RA. But you can change your heating and your air, which is not a luxury that some other halls have. So yeah, if you are, I personally am anemic, so living in U-Hall my freshman year actually kind of worked out with me. I could turn on the heat when I got like too chilly, because I do get cold very easily. So there was that. So yeah, that's all about U-Hall. And then you have the singles. The singles, I have only really been in one single, and I think it was Lovelace, but I'm not really sure. I know one of my friends live in the single, and I don't know which one it is. But yeah, I've been in the singles. It seems pretty nice, but because it's single, the rooms are so much smaller than a regular dorm. So if you are borderline claustrophobic or even claustrophobic, I wouldn't recommend a single. But if you do have an issue living with other people, go for that single boo. Since we got into it, I do want to, since someone asked me for like the pros and cons of Bradley, and that seems like a lot to do in one video along with the rest of this stuff, so I'm just going to go over some points that I think should be said before I wrap up. Since I was just talking about living with people, I would like to bring up roommates. I don't know if I've stressed this in other videos, but Bradley has this thing where you can pick your roommate, and when you start making like your house agreement or whatever, I don't think it's a house agreement, I think it's like when you start your housing sign up, they ask you either to list whoever you want your roommate to be, you list whoever it is, their name, and then you put their ID number, or you fill out this little survey and they'll randomly select someone for you. I personally, my freshman year, I did indeed find somebody on the Bradley Facebook page, and we decided we were going to be roommates with each other. And then this past year I did not have a roommate because of COVID. A lot of people didn't come back to campus, so I had the luxury of having the room to myself. Yes, ha ha ha, it was very nice. But yes, so I did have a roommate that was not randomly selected. Now I've heard horror stories from both sides. I've heard horror stories, I've lived horror stories from picking your roommate, and I've heard horror stories about randomly selecting your roommate. I think either one, you're kind of throwing it up, because people can say they're one thing and then when you end up living with them, it's a completely different thing. Honestly, I think that living in a space with someone is all about communication and respect. I think you can be moved if there's a huge issue, but always talk to your ARA or RAs if you have a problem. I do want to go into picking your major. If you don't know, when I originally went to Bradley, like my freshman year, I was undecided. I did not have a major, and it was glorious. All of my friends had a major, from psych to health science to nursing to art. All of them had a major, and you know what? All of them switched. I'm not saying that it's bad that they switched their major. I'm just saying that it probably would have been easier for them and less of a hassle if they had came in undecided. I'm not trying to sway any of you guys to any side, but I came in undecided, and it was very nice. My undecided advisor and also my professor, because when you come in undecided at Bradley, they actually put you in like this program where you have to go to a class and you're trying to figure out who you are and what you want your major to be. And so my advisor was Gregory Haynes. Shout out to him. He was so great. He was spectacular. He really helped me kind of hone in on what I wanted to do. So yes, I do recommend going in undecided, but I do want to stress that there are no undecided scholarships. So if that is a big thing, then sure babe, pick that major, okay? So yeah guys, that's a wrap. I hope I talked about everything that you may have had questions about, and if you have any more, leave them in the comment section. And I promise, I know last time I said I was going to really try and get the video out, but I promise this time, since it's summertime and I'm not doing a lot, I will get the video out in time for you guys to see it before you step foot on campus, you know, or before you make a big decision. So leave it in the comment section below and I will get back to you. But yeah, that's a wrap for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, leave them in the comment section below, or you can DM my Insta that I left in the description box. But without further ado, I'm gonna hop out this video, and I hope you enjoyed it. Goodbye.